Hello, in this video we're looking at a meme build for Stranger of Paradise at the end game, and we're going to be using the warrior where we're shouting enemies to death. So we're going to try to get into their face or their tail or shouting at their leg until they give up. So we're using the gladiator version. We're not going to go into as much detail as we usually do because we just kind of want to start shouting at things for a while. So we're using the gladiator. We have the warrior shout. The element is none or non-elemental, which means it's magical in this case. So intellect does affect it, but I'm going to leave that alone. Stat bonus stamina. That is important for what we're about to do. So we have a lot of stamina here. And then we're picking the gladiator version because after you press the button a second time, like you shout once, if you press it again, you do whatever's on your after parry slot. And in this case, we have another shout on the after parry slot. So two shouts. Now on our master points, I'm sorry, on our job affinities, we have Knight 400% to get to negate the damage during Lightbringer or Chaosbringer. And then we have Knight, Warrior, and Liberator all beyond, like 800% beyond, just to get some stamina out of it where we could. The Warrior is from the Master Points, so the Liberator, the side effect of that is I wanted a little bit of spirit with it. I didn't get very much from it though, but um, and then we have the Void Knight 600% for the haste so that we shout even faster. And then across our gear we have improved effect bravery, onslaught, and then stamina during Lightbringer break damage dealt, and Alexander across every single piece of gear. I'm sorry, that we could. And then we have damage taken at max HP and status ailment all the way up to 100% so that we can avoid uh, status ailments and also cut the damage we take to our Chaosbringer or Lightbringer by half, roughly. In addition to, we have all that stamina too. And then for the remaining pieces, I grabbed non-elemental break damage dealt, and I happen to be using a Hermes Sandal that increases my attack speed, so that's Dragoon 400%. You get more attack speed during Lightbringer, or Chaosbringer in our case. And then we had a badge of that allows us to get the Ifrit's primary blessing, so that the second shout has a chance to get boosted. Uh, oops. And then I'm using Onslaught and Bravery on the main job here so that I get even more break damage. It's in the same bucket as your gear, so same thing with Bravery. Even though it says increases damage dealt, that break damage dealt that it offers you is in the same bucket as your gear. So these just kind of stack all in the same bucket. But Chaosbringer is in a separate bucket of break damage dealt. But looking at teleport, we have teleport so that we can blink into people's faces faster or around them, just because the shout, sometimes the animation's a little bit delayed. Now the monk, we have this set up to take advantage of Chaosbringer and improved effect Chaosbringer, improved effect focus. The monk being something that increases the break damage we deal, as well as the damage dealt, but mostly the break damage that we deal on this round, up to 4 stages using the Monk's Master. And then on our gear, we have the Lightbringer duration so that our Chaosbringer lasts even longer, buff duration so that we don't have to reapply focus and other buffs as often, Soul Burst MP recovery so that we build max MP during Chaosbringer, since you can't build max MP any other way now. And then some of the other things that we have going for us are the Void Knight 120% and the 50% to get the increased MP limit boost rate. The Summoner 600% that doubles the effect of your Leviathan primary blessing, which we have on our accessory. And I don't actually have that set up this time, but that increases your Soul Burst MP recovery also. And then we have the Breaker 120% so that we get more Soul Burst MP recovery, and the 50%. And then we have the Red Mage 250% so that we're squatting less while we're charging up focus. And then things like Gambler 120% and the Summoner 120% help us chain cancel and build up max MP and regular MP. Gambler 120%, regular MP with based on a random amount of luck. Or, sorry, a random amount of MP based on your luck. And then we have the Lionheart accessory so that we're invincible while we're in Lightbringer, or in this case, Chaosbringer. Our allies, we're going to actually skip ahead this time. Our allies are stat sticks, Liberator 600%, giving us 12% of their stats, and they are stacked with stamina, spirit, and Lightbringer duration so that they're Knight 400% when we press the D-pad left or right, or if you press the letter R or press the letter T on your keyboard, they'll go in the resonance and they will be invincible for the duration of um, that Lightbringer, or the resonance is what they call it. So we do have Alexander, and we're stacking those Stamina, Spirit, Alexander across their gear so that they share 12% of that with us. And then I just did not bother to actually change their accessory out because they normally don't have these types of stat allocations. So I'm not going to mess with my accessory just for this one build. Same thing for, I'm sorry, and Ash is on Liberator, but he could have easily have been on Berserker. And then Sophia, no, sorry, not Sophia, Neon is on Knight. Pardon me. Where she's getting more stamina that she can share with us. And then our master points, sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I was going. Our master points here, we have stamina stacked up, warrior job affinity just to get some extra stamina from all of that, ability break damage dealt. We happen to have damage taken at max HP because I wanted more break damage on my gear. And then we had the break damage dealt at max HP. I'm sorry, max break because it was the highest break damage dealt that I can take advantage of consistently. And then on our monk, we have it set up so that we can um, do the Gambler 120% chain cancel, get some MP back. And then we also have Lightbringer duration so that our Chaosbringer lasts longer. Oops, sorry, our controller just died. Um, let's put that back in. And then we have the increase MP limit boost rate so that we get more max MP when we soul burst the enemy. And then we have soul burst MP recovery so that we get more MP, max MP when we soul burst the enemy. And then we have buff duration. So even though it seems like, well, if the buff costs 0 MP, why not just apply it? And we're mostly talking about focus level 4 here, where we don't want to squat and end up having to reapply that in the middle of combat. So things like that. Now let's look at our dragon trials. We don't want to go too intense on these, but let's try going and fighting regular enemies. We're only going to do the first wave just to kind of show how effective this could be, or not effective, but we'll say effective enough. Um, I'm doing a Chaosbringer, I'm doing Focus up to 4, and then I am going to do Onslaught Bravery. I'm going to try to chain cancel when I shout, just to get my Onslaught buffed up. And now I go around and just start terrorizing these enemies. But I do need to reapply my buffs, or at least some of them. And that's how this might go. Um, so rough idea, but let's try a boss. We're going to try a world boss. Actually, we're going to try a rift boss because that's where we might end up actually using this build. Now we do have an advantage in the rift because we have monsters that give us even more stamina, and um, we have Phoenix Downs and High Ethers and all sorts of crap. So in the rift we have the bomb for stamina, we have the skeleton for stamina, And then just for tankiness, we have Coral for Spirit and increased monster quest efficiency, and the Malboro for Spirit. And then we also have the Behemoth here for the combo ability stat bonus and damage dealt to bosses. I don't know how much the combo ability stat bonus even affects the shout, if at all. Also, on the bomb, we have damage dealt to bosses. Now, we are not going into this rift with this build, not while there's enemy attacks, deplete buffs going on, because that is a very stressful experience. But what we might do is we might go and fight a single boss. Uh, so hopefully this starts us in the boss room. And we're going to try doing a Mega Ether so that we start with more MP. And I'm going to do a Chaosbringer, a Lunatic. I'm going to try to charge up on Focus. And then try to switch to Warrior, use Bravery, Onslaught, and start trying to shout at the enemy. In this case, I might even get cocky and just shout in their face. Thanks to Knight 400%. So let's get this going. And if it's Chaos Kraken, then oh my shoot. Okay. Not the most glamorous fight. Okay, let's reapply some of our crap. Yeah, if we didn't have Knight 400%, we'd be dead. I'm gonna just kind of wait this out until oh! Oh, you jerk. I'm just gonna shout at you. I'm gonna shout at all your tentacles and make you regret every friggin' thing. Friggin'. I crave power! Oh, here, take your power. And that's how things could go. Except that that was a little chaotic. But yeah, and this could do a boss rush. Surprisingly works very well on Crayclaw, or just enemies that have, or bosses that have multiple target points, like Crayclaw and Tiamat. They get torn up pretty fast with this, uh, for some reason. But yeah, now that you've seen a meme build and a video that is under 15 minutes, what the heck? Okay. Anywho, hope that helps, and have fun.